Loft 100 Studios, The Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyandgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Hey, is that a rescue plane?
Welcome to the Big Biz Show. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
And wherever you're listening, we welcome you to another episode of The Big Biz Show. We're live inside the Loft 100 Studios. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for being with us. I am Costa. That is Mary Bergodwin right there. Beautiful Mary Bergodwin. And, of course, our fearless leader, Sully.
Just a few more days until the big game.
The big game. Here we go.
Hey.
Seattle is a 4.5-point favorite over the New England Patriots. Strangely enough, the Patriots are the home team, but they will be wearing all white, as in white jerseys, white.
I'm glad because one of my favorite things about Seattle is their uniform.
The blue and the blue.
Right.
Yeah, so there's your...
a little hint of day glow.
Oh, my God. Yeah, no kidding. It's a great uniform. But that's your Super Bowl breakdown.
Who's your favorite college uniform?
Oh, God.
Gotta be Oregon.
No. I'm an Aztec because I like our black and black. I love the plain.
I like the matte black and the matte red.
Matte black. I love Penn State's navy white pants, and of course Alabama.
Yeah.
And their crimson.
Good going.
Yeah. So.
What do you have a favorite at all?
I do not watch college.
Is all UC
football.
yellow and blue? Right. All the UC schools are yellow.
Yellow and blue.
They are, aren't they? It's crazy.
Yep. Go Gauchos. I went to a Gauchos basketball game over the weekend.
Did you?
I did.
All right. They win?
You went to one?
Yeah.
Wow.
They win?
Were they in town?
No. I went up to see my daughter.
You went to Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
So
took a day trip.
She allowed you? Hey, guess what? Here in town, just happened to be rolling through Montecito.
I was there for about 5 minutes.
Happened to be rolling through Isla Vista.
She took my younger daughter out in DP, so that was fun.
What's DP?
Del Playa. The street where all the magic happens.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
Anyway.
Don't they have a place in Santa Barbara now called the Funk Zone? Have you heard of this?
I have.
So the Californian is a big hotel there.
Yes.
And they have now created this section in Santa Barbara downtown called the Funk Zone.
Yes, I've heard of it.
And it's sort of a place, that.
In fact, I walked by it. Yes.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's it's kind of like the gas lamp in San Diego.
Is it like the bottom of State Street?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
That's exactly where.
That's exactly where it is.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. Speaking of colleges, Howie's. Howie's Howie, are you a Hurricane or a Gator? I can't remember.
Seminole.
Or Seminole.
Seminole.
You're Seminole? All right. With the racist, is it racist or is it prejudice, the hatchet thing?
Well, the thing about the Florida State University, they got
a lot of heat for that thing, right?
But they entered into agreement with the sovereign nation of the Seminole Indians, and they are making a mint off of Florida State.
Oh, so they can use
good.
King Osceola. Yeah, absolutely.
I always thought it was interesting.
So I always thought it was interesting. It's good.
I always thought it was interesting how the Native American Student Alliance at San Diego State was protesting the Aztecs. I think the Aztecs were in Central America.
And they haven't been around for like 400 years.
Are the Aztecs and the Incas the same? I mean,
I don't think so.
No, I'm saying, are they the same? Because one of them was a real people, and one of them was supposed to be a legend.
No, the Aztecs were. Well, Montezuma was there.
The reason we're talking about Aztecs is me and Mike are both Aztecs.
That's right.
And I'll tell you, the greatest, perhaps, mascot.
Yeah, Monty Montezuma.
No, Carlos Gutierrez.
Who plays
Monty Montezuma?
Carlos, love you, Carlos.
Carlos Gutierrez is Challenge Athletes Foundation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Howie, I
hear on the advice of counsel, I decline to comment at this time.
I understand that more older workers are getting back into the workplace at a rep. Now, is that because they need the money, or is it we need human capital?
Can you define older?
Yeah.
So?
Anybody above 35?
65 or older, Mary.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, it's because they kind of need the money, and also a lot of people after retirement want to do a less intense, fewer hour job than has been true in the past. So still a smaller amount compared to young people, but with new entry-level positions, we're seeing a jump to almost a whole % of those positions being filled by retirees, again, 65 or older, compared to what should be like 20%, 25 and younger. That's now down to 9.
Two ways to tell that I've completely phoned it in.
Here we go.
Cashed in. Number 1, I'm now a greeter at Walmart. Number 2, I'm driving an RSVP police vehicle.
Right. What a gig. I want to be RSVP.
We're talking about the greeter at Walmart, by the way. That's the kind of job.
Well, but the greeter, actually, my aunt was a greeter at Walmart. It was the greatest thing she ever did. She was a banker for years and years and years. Took some years time off, and she had more fun with that because she had human contact every single day.
Less stress.
People got to know her.
Stimulating.
Until she started handing out home baked goods, and it got herself a little bit of trouble because you're not supposed to hand out.
Yeah, who would you rather have a greeter at Walmart? I mean, an 18-year-old or a 70-year-old? I mean,
You're right.
One's going to be happy
100%.
and smile.
I'd like to have a greeter at other places, but the other thing too is the RSVP, retired service volunteer patrol, which is basically the cops that aren't really cops.
Yep.
But then you have the couple of them that always wanted to be a cop, but now they're really a cop, and now they're gonna. I mean, it's really interesting to watch that.
Packing heat. Yeah, you don't mess with the RSVP.
But I mean, it's. I think one of the rules is if you're in a 30 miles an hour zone, you got to drive 20, like you normally do when you're 85 years old.
Exactly.
I think I would like to see more elderly folks, of course, over the age of 75. Which I would call elderly.
Thank you for clarifying.
Use their skill sets that they learned along the way because they're invaluable skill sets, right? Not just put them out to pasture as a greeter or, a yogurt pourer, server, whatever. Not that there's anything wrong.
Yeah, and I think people do want to work. They want to fill their time in some way, and if you're in a situation where you need the extra income, even more power. I mean, these are not intense jobs. These are not 60-hour a week. These are not.
Tech but Howie, real quickly,
right? Does this mean jobs either?
Does this mean that the labor market's slowing?
Sorry.
Does this mean that the labor market's slowing?
No, not necessarily. This can happen regardless of the labor situation. The labor market is slowing, but I think it's kind of independent of this move. Which
I'm just saying, let's just throw. Listen, we don't have room for everybody. Let's throw a couple bones out to Mike Cossey. He's staring on the barrel of 63 this year. I think he's fit enough to walk from his car to the opening of Walmart.
I'm just saying, competition's intense. New employees.
The cream rises. Howie Font, our big Biz Show market analyst. Howie, as always, appreciate it. All right, we appreciate you being with us. A lot more to come on this edition of the Big Biz Show. Do not go anywhere. It is the Big Biz Show. We're in Southern California inside the Loft 100 studio. Thank you, everybody, for being along for this crazy ride this episode. The Day Trader Quattro. They are always along for the ride. Love the fact that we get to hear him every single day back here at the bar. It is Costa, it is Maribeth Grodwin, and it is Sully. We are on air, online, everywhere, going into our 35th year of broadcasting. Oh, my Lord.
We started on the radio. Can you believe that? 35 years.
That's a long time.
About, closing on 20 years on television. 85 million U.S. television homes, not to mention the international homes that we're on between radio and television. Great to have you along today. Very excited about our next guest, my friend.
Oh my gosh. I actually saw this a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if it was a TV show.
This is the future of autonomous retail. Mary's ears perked up immediately.
I know.
So did mine, exactly.
Shahan Ohanessian is the founder and CEO of VenHub Global Incorporated. Their ticker symbol is VHUB, and we welcome him to the Big Biz Show for the first time ever. Shahan, thank you so much for your time today, sir. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
Coming straight from the expert, tell us what VHub thinks the autonomous retail market is, because I have an idea that you probably have it figured out better than we do.
Autonomous retail is where a retail is fully autonomous. Right now, there are a few companies that have frictionless transactions, but they're not fully autonomous. They still have attendants there. The stores are open. Potentially, people can break in, do some bad things to the store. Our autonomous retail solution, where it's bulletproof glass, steel framing, no staff needed, operates on its own 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And not only it operates and provides the highest level of customer service, but it also starts learning from its neighborhood what the neighborhood wants, item number one, but item number two is not something they used or they're utilizing. So the store will become smarter and it tells the store operator, hey, I'm selling more of item A versus item B. Stop getting me item B, but give me more item A and give me more item C that is similar to item A.
I've got a question in terms, this is really the confluence of AI and robotics and brick and mortar, which I don't think anyone's ever seen before. Talk about that piece of it, because this really is, you are taking advantage of really the game changer in terms of AI, but you're also taking advantage of existing infrastructure, which I think is important.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail on the head. Initially, when we started the journey in 2020, we talked about we have smartphones, we have smart cars, we have smart homes, but we don't have the smart retail. And retail is suffering tremendously between cost of labor, overtime, shrinkage, crime, workman's comp, rent, a whole slew of different type of issues they're having, whether it's a small operator or the largest operators. They're all having major issues. And that was how the journey started. And we feel that we resolved it. We have a lot of IP behind it. It's a pretty cool technology. And we can see from the people's faces of how they react when they come to the store and they interact with the store. And the repetitiveness of the store with our existing customers has been incredible.
Shahan, I just assume really is your biggest overhead people who stock the units?
Yeah, so if you take the entire cost of the rent of the space, which takes 3 parking spots, the cost of the unit economics and the cost of the people stocking it, and hopefully in the next 12 months, we talked about us introducing a solution where the store itself will restock itself. We don't need people to restock it at all. But with that said, the cost of labor is substantially below $5 an hour with a single employee that operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And Barb and Peter don't steal stuff from the store.
No.
And Barb and Peter don't take time off. If Peter's misbehaving, or the system knows it, they'll tell people, hey, Peter, go sit in the corner, reboot yourself. Barb, take over.
Wow.
They're not opening bags of Funyuns like I would be opening in your store if you had hired me.
Barb will slap you.
No, what locations do you have so far? It looked like in that clip I saw maybe a college campus or something, or where are the places that you're located now?
We're in Southern California. We're opening up some Nevada operations. We have in LAX, Union Station, Hollywood Bowl, and a bunch of other locations. And the demand has been incredible. We've announced it through the public. Demand has been hundreds of $millions of backlog. And then it continues growing. And we're honored by it, but we also want to make sure that every step of the way we're perfecting the process. And we're learning a lot. We're the leader of this industry. A lot of us come from an Amazon ecosphere, so we know how to mass scale.
Which is my next question. Not to remember, why in the world do you think Amazon and Walmart haven't done this yet? Because
they tried something similar, right?
But the point is that you guys have perfected this already. It seems like an obvious sort of transition or next step on the way to I think the autonomous delivery and so on and so forth, does it not?
Yeah, I get to ask that question a lot of the times, and I really can't tell you why they haven't done it or whoever, someone else hasn't done it. We did it, we're proud of it, and we continue pushing the envelope every stage of the way. What you're witnessing right now is the first version. We have some incredible versions that are coming up. There'll be a mobile version. Eventually, we'll go into autonomous retail, the existing retails, whether it's small stores or large mega stores. We can go in through our AI system and vision system, learn the store, and be able to operate the store with all the robots. But I can't speak on behalf of why didn't they come up with it. It's interesting enough, you asked that question that I'm asked, why didn't somebody else come up with it? I don't know. Ask Steve Jobs, why didn't somebody else come up with it?
Yeah, that's true. I agree. You guys had a pretty interesting press release that came out the other day, which kind of demonstrates some of the benefits and sort of how you guys deliver kind of real-time dynamic merchandising, as you guys put it. It's, if you go to their website, venhub.com, you can see that. Once again, their stock symbol is VHub. I want to ask you before we let you out here, first of all, you got to come back with us. I mean, we need you on the air again because this is something we can continue talking about because I mean, I can start seeing things in terms of pharmaceutical. I can think in terms of ticketing for merchandising. You're already seeing somewhat similar to at the airports already, right? But not. I think there's so many flaws in that, and I see people walk away with stuff all the time. What do you think the biggest changes are going to be over the next 18 months in your business? Do you think AI is going to take a bigger role? Because I think you guys kind of have the recipe figured out as it is.
Obviously, I mean, we're early stage and we're still learning and we're improving it, and the AI will play a big role to make sure the customer experience is the highest level. If the customers and the consumers are happy, they'll come back. But what you also mentioned, since a lot of us come from an Amazon ecosphere, Amazon started as a bookstore, and in only 17 short years became the store of everything. Our goal is to be the retail of everything in the next 10 years, whether it's pharmaceutical, pet food, lockers, smart cities. So those are the things. And the last thing I want to kind of share with you, there was a study that was done, and you asked me the landscape, what it looks like in 18 months. But I can tell you, there was a huge study done. In the next 10 years, they expect 80% of all retail to be autonomous on retail. Wow. 80%, not just a single vertical, all verticals.
Amazing
Once
stuff.
again, young workers out of business.
Yeah,
For the better, because it's going to save us money. Hey, Shahan, you got to come back with us, man.
Please.
Honestly, and I want to encourage people to take a look at VHub in terms of a story that's actually happening along the way here. I mean, I'll tell you, they're far from being over.
Shahan Ohanessian, founder, CEO, VenHub Global Inc., ticker symbol VHUB, VHub. Oh boy, I want one in my neighborhood so bad. Yeah. And stocked with nothing but Funyuns. All right, keep it right here. Much more to come with the Big Biz Show right after this.
And meat sticks.
Big Biz Show. We're live in the Loft 100 studios in Southern California. It's been rainy the last couple days. Sun is out though. Sun's out, guns out. Costa, Merber, Godwin, and Sully with you.
We are brought to you by Prudential. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement. Also brought to you by Bayer Advanced, better science, better results. Starbucks Coffee, Lumen Brands, and of course Taylor Guitars. Great to have you along. 85 million TV homes strong in the U.S. We've got a big announcement coming up next week in terms of distribution, and you can find us everywhere online.
Yes.
You know, we're the only Webby award-winning business broadcast in the world.
Love it.
I didn't know.
Now, do you know the Grammys are for music?
Yep.
Emmys are for regional television.
Yep.
Oscars are for the movie industry, but a Webby is for the entire internet.
The whole
entire internet.
All the interweb.
So we win.
Yeah, we do.
Do you know who else wins?
Yep.
My good friend Nick Liuzza. Nick Liuzza, of course, is the CEO of Beeline Holdings.
Yes, ticker symbol is BLNE, and their website is makeabeeline.com. Hopefully he has survived Mardi Gras down in the Big Easy. Mr. Liuzza. He joins us right now on the Big Biz Show. How are you? Oh, look at you.
Look at him.
You look great.
He looks healthier. You're getting more handsome every time. I talk to Nick almost every day. One of my favorite people in the whole world. We become friends. That's what normally happens these days because he's a scoundrel like you and I, Mike. Hey, I only mean that in the nicest way. Hey, can I talk to you about overall economic stuff since you're a real estate guy? Inflation is eking down a bit, but talk about mortgage applications overall, because I heard a stat that said mortgage applications are up like crazy over the last year and are continuing to grow. Talk about that.
It's correct. They're up about 132% year over year. And when you look at inflation ticking down a bit, I think people in the mortgage industry are gaining a bit more confidence in terms of their outlook for 2026. And as it relates to Beeline, we are definitely seeing our loan economics get better. And since they are improving, that means we're going to increase our marketing spend, and that means more revenue faster, quicker than we thought, which is pretty exciting.
What in terms of revenues for you folks, what is the lowest hanging fruit that you see? Because you guys founded this company, as a fintech mortgage lender and a software as a service sort of platform built on millennials, Gen Z, and beyond. What is the lowest hanging fruit these days that may have changed from when you guys originally thought about this business?
Well, it's a good question, right? I mean, when we drew it up in 2020 or 2019, the world was a lot different than it is today. I think the lowest hanging fruit, though, still remains the conventional business, the conventional mortgage business, right? Which is the Freddie Fannie business, the business that fits right into sort of where, 70% of the market is, maybe 75% of the market. And so that's the lowest hanging fruit. That is where we're going to make most of our revenue on a going forward basis. But I will add, though, we're also addressing the other 30 to 35% with other products. The non-qualified products. So while we may see the lowest hanging fruit in the conventional space, we are completely dedicated to providing a better outcome for the gig economy workers through our platform. And we are going to continue to add more products. In fact, we're pretty close to adding even more products that are more related to the gig economy and younger borrowers.
Nick Liuzza is the CEO of Beeline Holdings Incorporated. Their ticker symbol is BLNE. Website, makeitbeeline.com. Nick, as inflation ticks down, do you also think that, as you kick the can down the road, that availability of new houses and dwellings and stuff will also start to rise a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. And I think you have a guy in the White House, whether you like him or not, he's committed to increasing more supply. You may remember that, he's trying to prevent the larger companies from stacking or stacking the deck. Yeah, so I think that's going to help. But overall, yes, we are seeing better numbers. We're seeing more optimism. Everyone's a bit more excitable, and you're seeing, look, the mortgage industry is the biggest, smallest thing in the world, right? Everyone knows everyone.
The biggest, smallest thing in the world. That's so interesting.
Yeah, everyone knows everyone, and everyone, and so the optimism, the M&A conversations, the conversations about hiring people again, and all the stuff that you see in normal markets, you're starting to see that activity happen, which means that, more than likely the business is right behind it, because not everyone is wrong all the time, and everyone has been wrong for a long period of time, and it feels like we're getting into a better cycle.
Nick Liuzza, CEO. The company is Beeline Holdings Incorporated. Website, makeitbeeline.com. Ticker symbol, BLNE.
Hey, Nick, you have a product called Beeline Equity. Talk about it. Talk about the problem it's solving. Re-explain that for us, because I think not only our viewers, but people that invest in your company by watching our show are interested in that as well.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate that. It is a unique product. It is, it's really geared toward people that can't qualify for a cash out refi, can't qualify for a HELOC, and they need liquidity. And our product allows them to sell a piece of their home in a pure sale of equity, where we record a pure deed. It's not disguised as some mortgage that you'll have to pay off later. We sit, above the homeowner on their deed, and we buy a piece of their property to give them liquidity pretty damn quickly. We are leveraging the blockchain for these transactions, which allows us to close fast, allows us to circumvent some of the industry standards as it relates to doing these sort of transactions. We're not doing an appraisal, we're not doing a credit check, and we are able to close these transactions very quickly. I will say, though, it's gotten out of the gate a little slower than we thought, not because of demand. The demand is off the hook, really just because we're leveraging the blockchain, and there are some uncertainties out there. There are some hurdles to close. There's software to be built and integrations to be done, and all of that's, from our perspective, is pretty much done. We're going to make some really strong announcements before our earnings call in late March to discuss exactly where we are, and even show the blockchain and show where these transactions are, so people can go out and see them and touch them.
Hey, I wouldn't let you get out of here until you talk about Barry Levinson. No, Mike, not that Barry Levinson, but Barry Levinson in the mortgage business is a pretty big name. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's like putting Tom Brady on your football team, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the, I mean, we are a new age generation lender, right? We're focused on the new age. We're a fresh approach, but sometimes you have to merge, legacy, the legacy with the new age, and that's exactly what we're doing. This guy he's a great guy, and we just love him to death, and so honored to have him on board. But I mean, look, he built Countrywide Bank. And lowered their cost of capital. And as a result of that, Countrywide became the #1 lender in the U.S. He was the managing director of PennyMac. I mean, this guy brings serious credentials to an emerging company like us. And so we're very excited to have it. He's going to look at our margin. He's going to help us with our warehouse lines. He's going to help us with new takeout partners. At the end of the day, we told the street we're going to be running at $100 million in 24 months. And by bringing Barry on board, we're able to feel a lot more comfortable about getting there.
Hey, Nick, last question. Do lower rates accelerate your revenue, in your opinion?
Oh, my God. I mean, look, it's lower rates could be a landslide, right? If they get below 5.5, between 5 and 5.5, look out. I mean, this business is going to just.
And what's the likelihood? Because as I've said before, when Mike and I were just doing radio a million years ago, there was a mortgage guy that we used to do endorsements for, and they said, if your mortgage isn't in the 2s, refinance. Obviously, we're not going there, in fact. But where do you think the 5s are coming in?
Well, the new normal. I think the new normal is here, and I think anything below the new normal, when you're a point and a half below the new normal, that's when you start to see activity. So the new normal is 6. You get in the 5 range, in my opinion. It's my opinion now. It looks like you're going to see some serious activity, and you're going to see everyone's P&L blow up in the business. What's the likelihood? I don't know. It changes by the day. It changes by what periodic, who you're reading, but it looks like again we're back on track for rate cuts this year. And since they're not changing the secretary for no reason.
Yeah. Nick Liuzza for president, as I've always said. Thanks. Straight off a Mardi Gras float, right onto our show. CEO, Beeline Holdings, Inc., BLNE. Ticker symbol, the website, makeabeeline.com. All right, no Beeline involved here. We're back right after this. It is the Big Biz Show. Always appreciate you, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. We're hanging out with this here. We're hanging outside the Loft 100 studios in Southern California, hanging out, listening to the day Trader Quattro. No lessons, self-taught, greatest band in the world. Back here at the bar, Costa, Mary Burt Godwin, and Sully. Alon Goren, my good friend who started off in the crowdsourcing business, who turned into the expert on digital currency and blockchain, now founding partner of Draper Goren Blockchain, joins us once again. DGB.VC MOUSE. Thank you. Alon, what's up, buddy? It sings. Alon, we got to bring you out to a show.
I can't wait.
We've been together for like 15 years or something crazy. Honestly, I don't know. Truly, it's been at least 10. But the bottom line is, every time I look at Alon, I spend zero time on social because I don't have time. But I do. I find something else new about him. And you and your little one playing guitar together and doing music. I didn't realize you're a musician as well as an entrepreneur, as well as he looks like everybody who works on Menlo Park.
I'm just looking at the Goldfinger flyer behind you. I'm just stoked that you're now playing with some of the bands I grew up listening to. So
you got to come out with us at some point. They'd love to see you out there with the guys from Unwritten Law and what's the other one? Dragon Slayer? What's the other one?
Zebrahead.
Zebrahead. There you go.
You're playing with the Vandals soon.
Yeah.
That's
we're in Los Angeles. Yeah, you'll have to come to that LA show with us. We're going to play at the Palladium, where alternative rock was born. So anyway, hey,
that's incredible.
So 2025 was the year AI finally met blockchain. What's 2026? Is it continued, or is it where blockchain kicked AI out and said we're going to do it ourselves anyway?
I think I think this is the year where people really start seeing the real capabilities of AI. I think all the movies and all the stuff we grew up watching are sort of happening in real life in front of our eyes. And all of this recent OpenClaw stuff, I don't know if you've been following, has just been incredible. And I think that is showing people that it's not just, going to take little content creation jobs or menial jobs from people. It will start doing meaningful tasks for families and for individuals. And I think digital currencies and this kind of financial technology we've always been discussing are essentially going to be the native rails for the robots, right? They're not going to be using paper. They're not going to be signing documents. It's going to be kind of the future we hoped for in that respect, and I hope we do it responsibly.
You're talking about two things that the biggest fear around blockchain and digital currency was it takes out middlemen, hence taking out potential jobs, and of course AI. In terms of younger workers and such, people are fearful of taking jobs. I mean, we tend to be okay after these things happen, a la Henry Ford and a la the advent of the internet itself. But between blockchain and AI, does this disseminate an entire workforce that was counting on actually being in the brokerage sort of businesses?
Maybe, but with every advancement comes new opportunities. And like you said, people thought that the assembly line and cars were going to really hurt us, but they just created new opportunities. And the internet was going to replace everything and do what it was going to do. There was a lot of doom and gloom, but it didn't do that. It created more and more prosperity and made the average, at least American, I think the quality of living higher. Now you can argue a lot of things regarding that, but I think AI will go a similar path. At least that's what I'm hoping. I think it has the power to do a lot of negative things, but in my job, I have to be a perpetual optimistic. I've got to meet entrepreneurs and wonder what happens if this goes right, not what happens if this goes wrong. And I think that it could create prosperity for a lot of people. It can free us from doing the things we don't necessarily love doing to spending time doing what we want to do. And, for some of us, that means making music, making art, and finding, some purpose. And for others, it'll mean something else. But, the menial and simple tasks that we didn't like doing are going to be quickly, taken by the robots, for lack of a better term. And
that's a whole other subject.
I don't necessarily mean physical ones, but also physical,
Alon Goren is the founder partner of Draper Goren blockchain. The website is dgb.vc. Alon, stay with me here. The Guthrie kidnapping case. Obviously, the kidnappers have asked for Bitcoin as the ransom, and you hear about, the purse has been accessed or the purse has been opened up. How much tougher do you think it's going to be for authorities to find out who they are if, in fact, they don't find them?
There are some ways in which digital currencies can be private, but none of them are more private than cash. Right?
Yeah.
And, or a gold bar or something like that. There is a digital trail, and really, really smart people know how to follow that trail.
Okay.
And if those people do decide to, take it to somewhere to cash out and get dollars, there's usually a way to catch them. And when we were hosting our conferences, we would have law enforcement agents for the different agencies who were in charge of digital. And every single one of them at the time told us they would 100% of the time rather the criminals they're dealing with use digital currency over dollars.
Gotcha.
Because they have a digital trail to follow. I think that still exists. There are ways in which people hide them. There are these things called mixers and these tools that are generally illegal to use to try and hide. But it's still not it's still not foolproof. And I think that the agencies and again some of the smartest people in the world know how to track that kind of thing.
Do you think in terms of as institutions flood into the market with Bitcoin and Ethereum and ETF, just much like as you're talking about law enforcement and stuff like that, do you think this changes a position for you guys as a firm in terms of what you're going to be focusing on? Because obviously you guys were focused on blockchain-esque and digital currency-esque deals. What is it? Does this add another category for you?
It does, because we didn't go into it. I think the diehards didn't come into it going, wow, I wish this new digital currency thing would be used by the largest governments and banks in the world to do, X, Y, Z. We were hoping that it would create this, the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of the world without, any wars fought. That was the dream. And it's happened in many respects, but it's also being sort of co-opted and used by these institutions, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but not the greatest thing in the world in the eyes of diehards.
Sure.
But with AI and with everything else, the general premise for a venture capitalist still stands. Can we make markets more efficient? Can we create new markets? Can there be a more level playing field for the individuals, for me and you, versus those institutions? Absolutely. So I'm looking at it as an extension of just digitizing all of these financial markets, right? We always talk about real estate because it's the one that all of us have to deal with, as Americans, and we all understand. As these things are digital, they'll be more efficient.
Yeah, plus they'll be cheaper for us, buddy.
He is the mammoth of Menlo Park, Alon Goren. Founding partner, Draper Goren Blockchain, their website, dgb.vc.
Big Biz Show continues. BigBizShow.com, so you can find us everywhere. 80 million homes in the U.S. We are international as well. Thanks to American Forces Network, and thanks to Bloomberg, and thanks to all of you, as well as all of our online points of distribution. You can go to BigBizShow.com and find out. Great to have you along today. Mary and I are holding the fort down because apparently else thought Thanksgiving started 2 weeks early. So it is the slack season, the slack off season. Lavell, Malloy, and Daniel Leibovich are two guys that are so remarkable. And you've seen Lavell on the program. They are co-creators, co-founders of the Bragg House, and they are publicly traded on the stock symbol TBH. Now, this is the number one home for the casual college gamer, but it's so much more than this because these guys reverse engineered a business into an audience that was already waiting for them before the business got there. And it's such a brilliant move. Guys, great to have you. I can't believe I actually got Daniel on the line too. Daniel, good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well.
Hey, Lavell, I got to say, you guys, we get so much email when you come on the air with us, and now we're getting email from college kids wondering, on the front end side. But I want to talk about this because you guys have figured out this bridge of culture and capital to where this didn't exist before. And you've built this business, and the model is brilliant. But it's much more than that because now you can overlay this template into other places. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw that there was a need. So exactly what you said. We use community, and I think it's important because community loyalty is a tangible asset. So we took that tangible asset and we created an entire model around it, which we believe is very successful in connecting brands to a really hard to reach audience.
Lavell, I was thinking, I was checking out your website some more, and I just dialed into the name and the bragging rights, and it seems like you just attacked what we all have, which is ego, and people wanting to be like, "Yo, look what I did," and it's so cool the way you get into people's psyche because then they want to brag more and they want to do more and they want to. It just seems like a cycle that you have going there. So was that part of it too, to kind of tie into that thing that we all have?
Yeah, and Daniel can tell you that was literally, this is the Bragg House, we brag.
Yeah.
And I think that we said it before, we started that community inside. So, Daniel and I bragging as we're playing games against each other, bragging rights.
Right.
Hey, Daniel, I got to talk about your strategic partnerships with a lot of pretty well-known global brands, like, for example, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Learfield. That got you into literally another 200 college campuses. Talk about how that came about and why that was so important for you guys.
So the events and the partnership that we've done with McDonald's and Coca-Cola have been a staple stone for us. Through them, we were able to present and show the world what we're capable of, both from
production capabilities, the ability to reach students on campuses, outside of campuses, and that brought to the start of the relationship with Learfield that we're obviously, as you all guys know, started with University of Florida. But as we scale out with Learfield to all their other 200 plus universities that they have under their media rights umbrella, it's just a scalable model, right? It's all about making sure that whatever we build in a scalable manner, because otherwise it's not going to be attainable. So doing it in a scalable manner where we can duplicate the model that we were doing with Learfield, first with UF and then multiply it across all the universities. And as you can only imagine, as we're multiplying that, we're going to have a ton more brand attention coming into us, and brands like McDonald's, like Coca-Cola, will become more and more involved as we evolve and create more events, more activations, and more experiences for college students around the U.S.
And when you talk about these big brands, can you piggyback onto their followings in terms of digital followings and social followings to sort of amass more customers for Bragg House as well?
I think it's always, sorry, go ahead, Lavell.
No, I was going to say, absolutely. I said, we can definitely do that. The funny part about it is they're doing that to us. they're trying to get.
There goes the bragging rights again. Yeah. There's the bragging rights again. Hey, which I think is, I mean, that in itself is the definition of scalability, right? I mean, when that happens. Let's talk a little bit about the House of Doge and Dogecoin. We just had an Ethereum expert on the air with us, who is sort of talked about the financial infrastructure behind Ethereum. I think we've established the fact that Bitcoin is an investment platform to invest in, just like the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P. However, things like Ethereum and Dogecoin are going to turn into currency, and it's going to turn into transactions. Talk about that a little bit. Talk about your partnership, Lavell.
I think that's the crucial part of it. We are creating financial rails backed by a $30 billion cryptocurrency, but the financial rails are compared to companies like BlackRock, are compared to companies like Visa with their, payment processing, the branding and licensing. So we're taking all the financial rails of trillion-dollar industries, doing the same playbook that we've done to make sure we have the adoption for colleges, but we're backed by a $30 billion currency to do that. So that's exactly what we're going to do is create these new financial rails, which honestly we believe is the future of how, everyone, but definitely, you'll probably see the first adoption from colleges, but how people are going to start engaging in the financial world.
This SaaS financial, digital financial model fits right into as an offering to your existing clients on the Bragg House site, right? Isn't that the intention to where you can start serving up more and more actionable services that, of course, you get to take a chunk of each time they use that service, and that creates revenue. Daniel, talk about that for us just a little bit about moving digital payments and moving real-world asset tokenization from the existing client base you have into the future, because suddenly Bragg House becomes much more than a gaming site.
Well, actually, I definitely want to touch point on what you talked about for the SaaS model. One of the items that we think will be massive for Bragg House is the data that we're building for brands. And one thing that, a mistake that we're not planning on doing that other brands have done in our position is we're not going to risk personable identifiable information. PII for us is always going to be sacred. We're going to protect the user's information. We're not going to sell it. But the ability to create behavioral trends and predictable behavioral trends and package that for brands as a SaaS model, and giving them the ability to also implement the knowledge that they're gaining through our platform in our platform for advertising and marketing purposes is going to be massive for the growth of the company.
Lavell, Malloy, Daniel Leibovich, the Bragg House. Welcome to the Bragg House.